Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creators Spotlight. Today we have here with us Nikki. She is a medical intuitive healer who collaborates with a spirit team of doctors to heal the clients that are coming to her. They are being guided by their own intuition to find her and to work with her spirit team of doctors too. And together with her spirit team, they look at the energetic, spiritual, and emotional level for the client. I can't wait to learn more about Nikki's journey. So be here with us until the end of this episode to learn more about her story and her journey. Hi, Nikki. Welcome to this episode. It's so great to have you here.
Good morning. It's so nice to be here. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
It is really a pleasure to connect with you in this interview because I know you have a very interesting story and I can't wait for us to learn more about it. So, I know that you grew up in a very religious household, Nikki. Can you please tell us how did that influence your journey towards becoming a medical intuitive healer?
Okay. Well, I did grow up in a very religious household. It was a good childhood, but I didn't resonate with a lot of the religious things that I was taught. And as I got older, I just felt that I didn't understand. I didn't understand anything about what they were talking about. It did not resonate. So I went on my own journey and I was always interested in the metaphysical. I was interested in mediums and psychics. And that was a no-no in our house. So I waited till I was kind of out of the house in college, getting older, and I started to investigate that. And I fell in love with it. So kind of fast forward a little bit, later in life, about 8 years ago, I think it was, I started having people come into my life that um, were like-minded, resonated with me. They were coming one at a time. They were teaching me things and exposing me to the metaphysical world. So I had to unlearn a lot of the things that I was taught as a child to learn what really is the truth. And so the way I learned that was, yes, through, workshops and classes and people, but also through spirits. I became a medium. I found out I was a medium, and I get my information directly from them. They tell me about the afterworld. They tell me about the truth. They tell me how people have gotten it all wrong through religion. And there's nothing wrong with religion at all. That's just another path that people are on, but it didn't resonate with me. And so as I grew, people kept telling me, you're going to be a healer. You're going to be a healer. And I kept thinking, no, I don't think so. I'm a medium. I can do that. But it kept coming back. So I ended up in a class with a medical intuitive healer that was teaching from the UK. And I sat in that class and I participated. And I thought, well, this is interesting. And as I was practicing doing what the instructor told me, he came up and said, you've got really good energy coming out of your hands, good healing. You should really think about doing something like this. For me, I had no idea that that would ever happen. So I thought about it. Then I got interested. And then later in the class, he said, you've got a couple of doctors that are just standing in the wings wanting to work with you. And I said, well, I've seen them. I didn't know who they were. I just saw them in the wings. So he had them come forward and work with me in the class. I got to know them better. I got to work with them. And I decided, okay, this feels right.
Mhm.
I never saw this coming, but this feels right. So I connected with that teacher and he became my mentor. And I started meeting with him once a week on Zoom, and we would work together to train me to be able to be more intuitive, to work with those doctors, to scan people and see what's going on with them. He trained me very well and taught me how to do remote healings too, so I can do that from afar. And so that's how I got into this. And after about a year of practice with friends and family, they talked me into saying, they said, you need to go to the public. You need to get this out into the public. And so, scared to death, I went ahead and did it. So last January, I actually opened the business. So it's very new, even though I had been doing it for friends and family. And that started in January, and it has exploded with as word of mouth has gotten around about the good that's happening. The testimonials are coming in, and we really work on the body first. So, health issues, aches and pains, anything wrong health wise goes first because these doctors work on every aspect of the body, but they also work on the energetic, the emotional, the spiritual, anything tied to what's going on. So, very interesting. So, that's kind of my story.
Very, very interesting for sure. And to everyone who's watching us, I also know that you, Nikki, have a medical background as well, because you worked as a nurse. Because, you know, like you said, this business is new, but in reality, you have so much experience that led you to this point to just make it official. But you also have a background, like a medical background as well. So, how do you feel that is helping you now with your current journey?
It is absolutely a must for me. I have been a nurse for 27 years, mostly oncology, which is like cancer patients and things like that. I feel like I've used it all along in the background, but officially, my experience as a nurse, my knowledge, all of that is needed because as they work on the body, I can see where they're working. It's like an X-ray. It's like I can see in and I see what they're doing. And then when they talk to me in medical terms, I understand. Or when I see the body parts, I can tell the client they're working on your liver as an example. This is what they're doing. This is what they're telling me, things like that. So it was absolutely a must to have a medical background for this.
So do you think you had this love for healing all the time, even when you were going through, say, that time of like religion and then stepping out of that and then stepping into something new? What do you feel called you towards this area of expertise, towards medicine? Because it feels like it evolved from just physical to so much more than physical.
Right. Well, I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. I just
Mhm.
would say that when I was young. I had a lot of medical issues when I was very little. And so I was involved with the medical community quite a bit. And then as I grew, I was just interested in that. And I always knew it would be something in the medical field. So, once I got into nursing, every day is healing when you work as a nurse. So it's a different type of healing. And so it comes naturally to me. So when I work on my clients now, it just comes natural. It's very easy for me. And I think I was being groomed to do this. Now, I have been told by another medium that brought through my healing team that they had been waiting for me a long time to get ready for this. They were in the wings, kind of just waiting. So that's very humbling because they chose me and waited for me. And I thank them every day for that.
And it sounds like a very healing experience for your soul as well, because what a magical journey you chose to embrace. And like you're saying, they were waiting for you, but you also chose to go forward on this path to become ready for this
Yes.
point. And how beautiful is that? So I know, Nikki, that during your journey, you mentioned that you had to unlearn a lot of things. Could you please share with us a few things that have been challenging for you during this journey? How did you choose to go through them or overcome them?
Well, The number one thing was, growing up in religion, it doesn't matter which one, most of them, they're all about the same. Um, they say that healing should only come from God and no other way, or it's evil. That's what I was always told. So I had to unlearn that and think, no, all healing comes from the divine through all different types of pathways. So there's not just one way, there's many ways. And it is not evil. It is the best thing. The healing coming through the divine and through my healers is all the same thing. So I had to learn that.
Mm.
Another thing I learned was when you a lot of information from when somebody crosses over, it's very different than what you learn in the churches. So it's all very individual. So whoever you expect to see, you will see. Whoever, or whatever you expect it to be like, it'll be like. So it's very individual. It's not, this is how it is. You're going to the gates, you're going to be judged, and you're going here or here. It's not like that. There is the spirit world and there is the physical world. And those two things are very beautiful, very beautiful. So I had to relearn a lot of that.
And how did that help or change you and your path as you were unlearning and learning something new?
Oh, it freed me completely. I felt relief because there was no fear. When you grow up in a lot of religious things, it's a lot of fear-based things. And the fear was gone, the joy was there. I was connecting with spirits and learning and not being afraid. People say, well, how do you know you have a good spirit or a bad spirit? I set my intention that I only work with the highest and best, the high vibrations, and we have that control where we can set, I will only work with this, and this is my intention. So that's, I only work with the highest and best. I only work from the divine in the light. So um, all of the things that I learned growing up that I had to kind of relearn have helped me in so many ways. I am free and I'm happy and joyful that I can share it with other people.
Wow, I'm so happy you mentioned that about how do you know that the spirit that comes to you is with good energy. And I'm so glad you mentioned this because there are so many questions about this. And how do you know that it's a spirit that's not like interfering into your space and is trying to take your energy away? And yeah, like you said, the intention is such an important thing because as long as you only say, like, I only work with love, I only work with this energy, it's just you are opening space for that energy only. And I thank you for mentioning this here. So I know, Nikki, that you have experienced different kind of meditation groups, classes, and spaces, workshops where you connected more with your intuitive power. How did those events help you on your journey to discover your intuition or to connect with your intuition more?
So I dove right in as soon as everything started happening, probably back in 2015. I dove into every class, every meditation group, everybody I could get to train me and teach me. Because to do what I do now, you have to strengthen your intuition. So I did a lot of classes on intuition, a lot of workshops. I did a lot of mediumship classes to learn and grow in my mediumship to get better at it. I did trance classes, which means you go into a little bit of a trance and let the spirits come really close and you get a lot more information. Sometimes they even give you words to speak. Okay. So I trained in all of those for many years to strengthen that. And that's my base and my background for doing the medical intuitive healing. I can't communicate with them without all of that. So I had to train and do those classes and workshops. And I met the right people that helped me push me in the right direction, give me information, things like that along the way. So that, yeah, that helped me.
Wow, that's really, really beautiful. And it sounds like you moved slowly and
I
surely
did.
through this journey. And yeah, I was having actually a conversation earlier today about how this journey towards light and love and all of these amazing things can be slow, can be long in this physical
Yes,
reality. But it is such a beautiful thing to go through because you are allowing your soul to almost like bathe in this amazing
yes.
energy, and it's so beautiful, right, to do that in this existence. So now we know you work with a team of spirit doctors. How
Yes.
do you communicate with them? Do you hear them in English? Do they show you signs? How do you understand them, and how do they understand you?
So for me in particular, I'm very visual, like within my mind, I see pictures, I see signs, I see a lot of times if they want me to know something very important, they will just, it's like a big, like a jumbotron comes up and I see the word they want to make sure I got it. And so I'll see the word within my mind. Okay. Other times they put thoughts within my mind. And anytime I'm working, anything that comes through my mind, I know is coming from them because I clear it. I ask them to clear my mind and calm it so that we can communicate. Sometimes it just comes through my mind in waves of information. Sometimes it's like playing charades with them. They'll do different things. They give me a thumbs up when things are good. Sometimes it's just different ways like that. I don't always hear with a physical ear. I hear with the inner ear, which is more like the thoughts going through my mind.
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. To everyone who's watching us and is listening to us, you will all see the link to how to connect with Nikki in the description of this video. So please check that out and connect with her. So Nikki, would you like to share with us maybe a moment or a situation between you and a client and the team of spirit doctors that you work with? Maybe something memorable of like, okay, this is what I've seen, this is what I told the client, and then this is how the client went ahead and dealt with their own problem. Can you share an example like that with us?
Yes, I've got two really good examples. They're actually testimonials that came in. So I'll share with them. One of them was a remote healing. So besides doing the hands-on face-to-face healing in my office, I can also do remote healings, which can be from anywhere in the world. So I am in Virginia and I had a client in New York City and she contacted me and she had a shattered wrist and it was not healing. And the doctors, she had a cast on it. It was really painful. She said the doctors wanted to do surgery and she did not want surgery. I said, well, let's see what we can do. I had no idea. All I know is I bring them in and see what the doctors can do. So they came in and worked on her. What I do is I actually interview the client. I find out exactly what the problems are, and then I get off of Zoom and go into my healing room and have the person in their own home just rest while I'm working, about 30 to 45 minutes. So while I was working on the wrist, it wasn't me, the doctors, I just watched the bones in my mind's eye came apart where they were shattered, and then I saw them go back together. So, and I see a lot of really interesting things when I'm working. So I didn't think too much about it. I just thought, okay, that's good. And I saw them doing a lot of work and different things. So I got off. I let her know what we did and what we saw. A week later, she called me and she said, you're not going to believe this. And I said, okay, what happened? She said, I went to my orthopedic surgeon and he was getting me ready to set a surgery date and he did an MRI to double check it what they needed to do, and he came back in the room and said I don't know what happened, but you don't need surgery now. He
Wow.
said, you have all new bone growth. And if I would have done surgery, I couldn't have done a better job. So that floored me. That was a really big thing. Very much a validation of what I saw, because I saw those bones going back together. So he took her cast off that day and said, we just have to let the ligaments and tendons kind of continue to heal, which we've been working on to kind of speed that up. But she can use her arm now and is doing very well. So that's one big example.
Wow.
Yes.
This is
Um,
really fascinating. It's wow, it's like the type of healing that came as like a light speed for her, and you were
yes,
able to witness that.
yes.
Wow, and then transmit all of that to her. It's like a transmission, isn't it? And then you're
Yep.
sharing. Yeah,
She's like an example of something that happens pretty quickly, an immediate type thing. And
yeah.
then I have others that it might take a few sessions where they continue to build on the healing every time they work. An example, a lady that had two really bad knees, very bad knees. The left one had had 3 surgeries already, and now they're saying you need total knees, both sides. You need complete knee replacements. So she doesn't want to do that. She's done with having surgeries. And so we worked on her probably 3 or 4 times, completely helping with the pain. The pain went away, but she still wasn't, hadn't thought I might not need surgery. She hadn't thought that yet. So she went into her orthopedic surgeon. We had worked on her a few times. Her pain was almost like very minimal compared to not being able to hardly walk. And they did an x-ray. They looked at it and they said, look at the difference between the old x-ray and the new one.
Wow.
It used to be bone on bone. Now there's a space with cushion. There was a meniscus tear that was fixed. Several things were fixed, and he said, "I don't think you need surgery, and you won't need surgery for 10 plus years unless you get arthritis." And he
Wow.
said, "You don't need surgery," and sent her away. So that's two. And so that shows you, over time working on somebody and then somebody that's immediate.
Mm.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how it those, because you mentioned religion, right? And you've been growing in that environment for so long. And yes, in religion, it's been mentioned about healing powers and all of that, but how
Yes,
beautiful it is that you took it to this level where you almost like bring awareness to everyone that it is possible, it
it
is
is.
accessible for absolutely every single person. And
Yes,
how magical is this? And as you just shared these testimonials, if there is anyone who's watching us who's going through any kind of pain in their body, what would you share with them? What kind of message? Where can they start looking at to understand what's going on with them?
well, a lot of people come to me for just random pain. And so, I can put them, if they're far away or local, I can put them on my table and we can scan and try to figure out what's going on. Sometimes I get information, sometimes they just heal it. So I never know. It's up to them what they give me. But we can go to the part that is hurting and figure out what it is and fix it. And a lot of times people will get immediate relief or they'll get some over time. Takes a little time.
Yeah.
So that's how we can do it.
And if they ask themselves, can I do it on my own, or do I need to go to a medical intuitive? What would be the point where they actually can consider reaching out to a medical intuitive instead of doing it on their own?
I mean, I want to make clear that I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose or prescribe or any of that. I work with the medical doctors, in spirit, but we work with your doctors. So if I see something, we're going to start healing it. We're going to start fixing it. But I may say, go to your doctor. You need to be seen for this. We're going to work in the background, but and we'll work with your doctor. So a lot of times that my team will go to the doctors that the patient is seeing and influence and give them information and guide them in the right direction.
Wow.
Because what happens is, these spirit doctors were on this earth first as doctors. They practiced medicine. They didn't have all the answers. They crossed over, they get the big picture, now they have all the answers. They know how to heal all of this, and they just want to help. So they can go to your doctors and give information. They can, you know, in, influence them. And it's just a wonderful way to collaborate. So I just tell people, I see this happening. We're going to work on it. Go to your doctor. Let's just make sure we all work together.
Wow, this is fascinating. It really, really is. And the fact that you accepted to embrace this journey is, wow, is just incredible. And I'm super grateful that you're doing this for this world because
Thank
it's
you.
very much needed. Um, so, Nikki, when you think about your energy and how and your role, right, in all of this that you've described to us today, how do you feel your energy is moving through these kind of experiences? What do you feel is happening for your own soul and your own journey as you are doing these things for people with the help of the spiritual team of doctors?
Yes, I am very lucky because even though I'm doing healing on people, the energy goes through me into the client and I get the benefits too. So I've never been so healthy in my life. I've never felt so good. I have energy. I feel amazing because it does flow through me all day, every day, to the clients. So I
Mm.
do reap the benefits. I'll tell you that for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, and dealing with the spirits every day, um, I talk to them all day long, as I'm dealing with clients. I also talk to them in my off time too. I'll say, okay, this is what we're doing today, and we'll talk, or I'll say, like for today, I said, okay, I have this interview coming up. Please, I'm going to open myself up. Please speak through me, give me the information that needs to be said, speak, give me the thoughts. And so I deal with them as friends and as colleagues.
Mm.
So, and it's really strengthened my mediumship. It has strengthened me. Like I said, I'm in the best health ever. Um, and they're a part of my life,
Mm.
business and not. So
It does sound like a big part of your life, and it sounds like you are beautifully collaborating with them. So I just feel like asking you this question. Maybe they wanted me to ask this question, right? So when you say, for example, you go out in the world, maybe you go to a shop or to an event or just like walking on the street, does it ever happen to you that you see somebody and it's almost like it's directing to you that there is something wrong with this person? They need to know something about their own health. And if this is happening for you, how do you navigate through this? What do you do?
I do notice when I'm out, I can look at somebody and say, "Oh, he's very sick," or something's very wrong. I can feel it. I can see it in them. Their energy looks really weak, I guess you would put it, sickly. And so I do that to my husband a lot. I'll say, "Oh, look, oh my God, that person is really sick," and he'll go, "Okay." Like, okay, what are you gonna do? But I don't feel that I can just walk up to them and say, "I think you're sick. You need my help," because that's not gonna go over well. So I rely on word of mouth. I rely on mainly that to get the word out because I can't just walk up to somebody. Now, if say they overhear that I'm a medical intuitive and they come to me, I can say, yes, I see something going on. Why don't you come see me? And we'll go deeper and figure out things. But yeah, no, I haven't gotten to where I just walk up to people.
It's
That's
a lot
probably not
about
good.
ethics, I guess, as well,
Yes,
because we can't
yes,
just do that. And
no.
I think with this kind of spiritual work that we do, and the guidance and everything that we do for this world, it's like I said, it's a long journey because we have to go through our own growth and evolution, but then we also have to trust that when we are ready and when those people are ready, like it has to be from both sides. You
Well,
will,
and there
yeah,
has to be permission.
yep,
So the
exactly.
person needs to say, I give you permission to work on me, and they have to, and it helps if they believe in what's happening, because boy, do I see some exciting things happen when somebody says, I need this healing, I give you permission, and I believe in this. I see fantastic things happen.
Wow. Thank you for mentioning this because, yes, truly, when we come into any kind of experience with open heart, open mind, then that's when there are higher chances for miracles to happen. So, Nika, I'm sure that there will be some people who maybe feel they're watching us, they maybe feel that they might be medical intuitive themselves.
Yes.
What would you advise to these people?
For that, I would say try to strengthen your intuition any way you can, classes, workshops, mentors, strengthen mediumship if you can, if you have any kind of work with the spirit world, strengthen that because they need that to communicate with you. And then if you've got a medical background, great. If you don't, start studying the anatomy books. Study the anatomy books so that you know what they're working on and you can identify if they allow you to see. They allow me to see, but I don't know if they do that with everybody. So I only know of two or three medical intuitives, and they all are able to see pretty well, and you have to have an idea of the inner workings of the body. So I would start studying those books, anatomy, physiology, that kind of stuff. Yes. And
Thank you
then
so much.
find yourself a mentor.
Mm.
Yes.
Maybe somebody feels called to connecting with you, right?
Mhm.
And they can, of course, check out the description of this video to connect with Nikki. So as we're wrapping up this episode, Nikki, if you were to share a message with the world to contribute to a healthier world, what would that message be to anyone who's watching us?
I would say that everybody needs to know that healing is for everyone and it is there. And so we have to get past what we've been told our whole life, that you only go to the doctor and that's it. Now you can know that the doctors and the spirit doctors can work together and you can have the healing that you deserve. There is one thing that I do want to say. Before we come to this world, we make a contract of our life. And if you asked in your contract to experience a specific type of maybe health problem or something or an event that caused them, the doctors can't interfere with your contract. They only can, you have free will. So that's a time when they would tell me we're not allowed to interfere. Or if this is a karmic thing or something like that, that has to be worked on in different ways. But our doctors can't just negate the contract and move on. Okay, does that make sense?
Absolutely. And do you tell people, like when
I
they come to you, do you tell them like, yeah,
I do. I do. I say, we're going to work on everything that we can. If there's something that I cannot, it's because of a contract or because of karmic debt that is owed. So, and those things I can't change. So the doctors will tell me the same thing, and I let people know that ahead of time. And it's very, very rare that I come across one that we can't. Most of the time, it's a yes, we can help you.
Oh, thank you so, so much, Nikki. This has been an absolute joy to create this video with you. Thank you for being here today with us.
Yes,
And
thank you.
again, I invite everyone to connect with you. Check out the description of this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you again next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.